SUI is in the middle of a pump right now after a huge integration with the major stablecoin USDC. But is this a buy the rumor, sell the news because we're in the middle of a pump right now? Or is this the start of larger things to come for SUI blockchain, and should you hold on to this token? Well, we're going to look at previous altcoins, what happened when they added USDC, and look at the price 30 days later and 90 days later, because a pattern emerged where you can double your money over the next few months. Now, if you don't know what SUI is, it is the crypto project that is built by ex-Facebook developers. And SUI uses the Move coding language, which is in a lot of business software. Now, SUI, like I said, is in the middle of a peak right now following the USDC integration. But should you sell? Should you hold on? Well, like I said, we're going to look at 4 different altcoins. And the first one we're looking at is Solana. And Solana added USDC all the way back in October 2020. So what happened with Solana when they added USDC? Now, when Solana launched with USDC, it was only $2 per Solana token. I know that is incredibly cheap. And you can see over the next 30 days, had a little bit of a pump. It pumped slightly. Solana went from 202 to 225, which gave us about 11% pump. But it's the 90-day pump that got me excited. You can see that thing pumped all the way to 374, 85% pump. You can see the 90-day pump a lot larger than the 30-day pump. This is a theme. Next, we're looking at Optimism, and Optimism had USDC integration September 5th, 2023. Now, Optimism over 30 days was actually slightly bearish. It lost a couple pennies over 1 month. But 90 days later, well, that's when things turned very, very bullish. You can see got a pretty good pump all the way closer to $1.75. So once again, a lot more bullish 90 days later versus 30 days later. We went from a 2% decline all the way up to a 33% pump. Next up, we have Near Protocol. Near launched their USDC integration September 14th, 2023. And over the next 30 days, things looked a little bit bearish. Once again, you can see a slight decline, but then when you zoom out to 90 days later, that's when you end up getting a pretty good pump, and we pumped over 100% for Near. And we continue the theme. 90 days later, we get a massive pump compared to 30 days later. And folks, when we go back to Solana, after 90 days, Solana went into price discovery zone. I think SUI is also going to hit price discovery zone. That's going to be very, very bullish. We're going to do some SUI price action after this last token. And the last token we're looking at is Polygon. Polygon added USDC integration October 10th, 2023. Now, Matic was very bullish after their USDC integration. You can see 30 days later where we pumped over 50% over 3 months. So even though 30 days later, Matic was very bullish, pumped 46%, 90 days later, Matic was even more bullish, slightly edging upwards towards 53%. But now, drum roll, please, what is the average pump that we're looking at, and what does this mean for SUI's price action? Average pump 30 days later is 12%. If we run that up for SUI at $1.10, you're looking at $1.23 SUI. But I want to know, what is that 90-day average? That gives us the better number, and then we're looking at a 71% pump. And if you look at SUI, that's $1.88. But folks, this isn't actually bullish enough for SUI. I have a higher price prediction and where exactly SUI needs to cool down and people need to take their profits. Now, I found something pretty compelling with the 71% pump here. We are going to definitely hit some resistance around this level. It has nothing to do with the average being 71%. If we look at it here, this is just going to be a natural area of resistance. SUI had pumped this high in the past and probably going to have a lot of selling pressure right around this $2, $1.90 range here. But I said I have a more bullish target, and for that, we're going to have to look at Raoul Pal's tweet here. Raoul Pal, SUI is acting like it was going to be one of the key chosen ones.
You were the chosen one!
Of the major new chains, if not the chosen one. This chart is broken out of the inverse head and shoulders, which is an important first step. So let's go ahead and look at this drunken head and shoulders. I call it drunken because it's at a slight incline here. For the price prediction on a head and shoulders chart, what you got to do is first, I like to draw the head and shoulders. It's a little bit of a lopsided head followed by a shoulder. And you can see, we have confirmed the breakout on the daily candles here. But if you want to learn, what exactly this head and shoulders trend will play out, you have to measure the move from the top of the head and then measure that from the breakout. So we have our target price here from this area. And so once again, we're just seeing some very, very strong confluence, just resistance. And so you see the 71% pump, right around this resistance. You can see this resistance right around this peak right here. And so I think the first area of resistance is going to be around this 225, 230 range. This is where you're going to have a lot of pullback for SUI. But I mentioned price discovery zone. If you don't know what price discovery zone is, when a coin is feeling bullish and there's a lot of adoption, you enter what they call price discovery zone. Price discovery zone doesn't have any ceiling. This is where you get the parabolic, just insane gigapumps. And if we can clear this resistance area for SUI that we're seeing in the past, I do predict we're going to closely match what we saw with Solana. Once it gets past this previous all-time high, that's when SUI is really going to start melting faces. I expect a lot of major pumps after we clear this $2.25, $2.30 range. I do think you're looking at a pretty clean 2x over the next couple months, and they just keep scoring more and more partnerships. It's not just USDC. They just announced an equity stake in MoviePass today. They call that the Netflix of cinema. Looked into that. They got over 1 million users on its platform, and they just had their first profitable year in company history. So SUI making a lot of moves. The USDC integration historically has proven very bullish for altcoins. I think it's going to continue to be bullish for altcoins. And if you like these videos, hit that like button. I'll keep making the charts. I'll keep my accountant hat on, and I'll see you in your altcoin bags at the top.